A bird does not sing because it has an answer. It sings because it has a song. A beautiful Chinese quote that describes the power of self expression. Something, if we teach our kids early, they learn how to handle themselves and the challenges of life. Hello, hi, and welcome to Meaningful Mondays with me, Rashmi Shetty, a space where I share my life lessons. And today's life lessons come from a reality show that I watched over the weekend. It's about little children and a singing talent show. But this time, my focus was not on the participants, it was on the invited audience. Each one sitting there, a super achiever in their space. But if we see them all together, we would look at them in pity and maybe somewhere feel sorry. But they told us stop looking at what you don't have, start focusing on what you have. And self expression definitely worked upon. It was an invited audience of children with a lot of physical and mental challenges. So there were children who had cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, autism, who were hearing impaired and visually impaired. But each of them was an achiever. And it was amazing to see how powerfully the parents had brought them up with both tenacity and resilience. And they never looked at themselves or their situation in any form of pity. They had completely worked on self acceptance and were in a state of joy to share who their favorite participant was and what their achievement was and how they achieved it. Each set of parents were a symbol of complete confidence, motivation, and inspiration. And the children were amazing. A lot of them had a lot of interesting stories, but there was one child who stayed with me way beyond the episode, and her name is Jiya Rai. 13-year-old Jiya is on the autism spectrum. She's nonverbal and therefore did not speak much, but her accomplishments speak for her, and you realize you don't have to even utter a word when you have something in you that you're aware of. Jia was somebody who was ridiculed as a small kid when she was 2 and 3 and therefore didn't want to go out and interact with her friends, her neighbors, because every time they bullied her. So her parents were wondering where to put her, and they thought, okay, swimming, maybe they'll just try. And they put her in a swimming class, and she took to it like a fish to water. She enjoyed swimming and has won innumerable prizes. Her house is stacked up with all the medals and the cups that she has won. But what makes her extremely special is a swim that she did across the Park Strait between India and Sri Lanka, and she covered it in a record time of 13 hours, 10 minutes. It was amazing how this 13-year-old could do what no one had achieved till date. It was very nice to see the way she was acknowledging everything, because her mother had said in an interview before that she never knew the difference between winning or losing. But it is over a period of time when she started getting trophies that she realized what victory was all about and even learned how to show the victory sign. So whenever now she wins, automatically without anyone telling her, she shows the V with her two fingers. It's amazing how, when there was a huge cyclone and everyone warned them against allowing Jia to swim, Jia very clearly told her mother, Mama, swimming Jia, and jumped into the waters and swam across. With all the difficulties of the ocean throwing at her, she managed to reach the other side, and in record time. It was very clear to me, with each of them standing there and sharing their stories, that the parents were hugely proud of their children, but had gone through a lot to understand what they can bring out. You know, most of the time, we focus on what we don't have. And a huge lesson on self expression for me that day was Focus on what you have and showcase that. The moment you do that, life is completely different because the pivoting itself changes. So, three life lessons that I picked up that day: focus on what you have, forget what you don't have. Stay consistent, be determined. The more you start working on it, the less you'll have to work harder later because discipline is magic. And third, listen to people, but only take in what you think is important because that gives you a lot of power. Sometimes criticism is what helps you understand what more you can do, what all you can do. It becomes a fuel for you to discover who you can be. It was a beautiful Saturday for me and a wonderful, thought provoking Sunday thinking of all of this. Till we meet again, stay safe, stay blessed.